Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for August 29th, 2023. We're going to be talking about the tropical update. And here's the latest on Hurricane Idalia. It is a Category 2 hurricane. The max sustained winds at 100 miles an hour. And you can see on the radar here, just the Tampa radar here, it is very well defined eye here with a completely enclosed eye wall. The northern eye wall had a lot of lightning in it earlier. It's progressing to the north here, and it's continuing to move at the north at a quick pace, 16 miles an hour. And like I said, as of the latest 5 p.m. advisory, we get an 8 p.m. advisory coming up here in an hour Eastern Standard Time. But it will continue to increase to a major hurricane status. No surprise there. I mean, we got warm sea surface temperatures, low wind shear, and a dedicated steering current with this system. There was a chance in the beginning, I thought, back when it was over Cuba, Western Cuba, that I thought it was going to be another Hurricane Ian and turn into Fort Myers or something like that. But no, this is heading directly north into the Big Bend area. So if you live anywhere from Apalachicola through Cedar Key and inland on that area, on the other side, there's counties, inland counties there, Florida, northern Florida there, from anywhere from Madison, Lake City, Jefferson County, Tallahassee, up through the I-1075 juncture point into Valdosta. You want to pay special attention to this because you want to be on that right side, the dirty side of this storm, and that's where most of these showers and convective activity is taking place right now. Now, I know some of these bands here, there is a little bit of dry air on the left side of the system, on the western side, but that won't affect the circulation because it is pinned up against two steering currents here. There's, of course, the subtropical ridge high pressure here, and then the cold front that's coming across here on this side. So that's going to squeeze play and push Ian directly north as the Hurricane Center has predicted, and all of that stuff that you guys already know. But it is going to be a major hurricane. I won't be surprised if it gets up to a high-end Cat 3, winds of 135 miles an hour, 140, a borderline Cat 4. I wouldn't be surprised. That wouldn't be a surprise to most people. The same thing happened with Ian last year, rapidly intensified right before it got on the coastline. And I'm surprised at the forward motion. I thought it would slow down, but this one is actually speeding up. So that's good news, is that there'll be a quick hit tomorrow morning, landfall, and that's one of the good news things of the system as well. So here's the path. That's National Hurricane Center, as you can see here, and it's going to take it out to sea and feeling of that high pressure, effects of that high pressure. So storm surge is going to be the major thing with this storm. I mean, yes, the winds die down eventually, but the storm surge is going to be the major, 10 to 15 feet above ground level, somewhere between the Osceola River and Yankeetown, Florida. So if you're on the coast, you already know you need to evacuate. If you're in that Big Bend area, that nature coast area, if you want to call it, you should evacuate and get out because it's going to be 10 to 15 feet of water come to early tomorrow morning, just to the right of the center where the storm makes landfall. That's obviously the most storm surge. So that's going to be the big deal with flooding with this system. The good news is, like I said, this is going to be a fast mover. By Wednesday afternoon, it's already up in the middle of Georgia, heading out towards Savannah, Hilton Head, and heading on out Thursday, Friday, it's out to sea. So it's going to be a quick mover. It's not going to sit around and dump huge amounts of rain. But rainfall, it's going to be, on order of, anywhere from 3 to 8 inches in some of these spots, max, you know what I mean? So that's why we have all the tropical storm warnings here, inland, from Tallahassee back through the I-10 corridor, Lake City, Live Oak, Chiefland, down through all these areas, Cross City, Cedar Key, Homosassa, all those areas north of Tampa, of course. And then you have the tropical storm warnings in effect, and hurricane watches and all that stuff is in effect as appropriate. Now, we also have inland notice. We also have flood watches inland here through Columbia, Augusta, Aiken. If you're in those areas, if you're in Kinston, North Carolina, Greenville, Raleigh-Durham, through 95, Lumberton, these areas down here, Wilmington, they're going to experience some type of flooding here. As the rain, they haven't had much rain recently, so the ground is hardened, and all that runoff is going to come and create those floods. And elsewhere, we just have heat warnings here. Red flag warnings and excessive heat warnings for the lower southern California Valley and Arizona Valley. And then up north, we have, of course, the red flag warnings for the dry humidity area in the Big Sky Country of Montana, Idaho, through the Bitterroot Chains and up through Salmon River Valleys and Snake River Valley, and then over into the eastern Washington, anywhere from Spokane, Walla Walla, up through the passes there and close to the Cascade Mountains there. So that's what we have going on. Elsewhere in the country is pretty quiet. But Idalia, of course, is the main story. Now, we also have Franklin out there, and that's going to affect Bermuda, but just briefly. It'll bring some tropical storm force winds and maybe a brief little rain. But Bermuda's fortified for that. They can handle that. That's not a big deal. But winds are still at 125 miles an hour, and the circulation has broadened with Franklin, and it's moving northeast at 12 miles an hour. It will accelerate once it gets near Bermuda, to the northwest of Bermuda, a couple hundred miles, and then after that, it's going out to sea. So Franklin was major hurricane status now, and it will continue to be in the end of the weekend. We have TD11. This is going to could be the next named storm, get the next letter storm here, but it'll be short-lived, and it's just going to be a fish storm before dissipating later on by Saturday or so. And this next wave is coming off. It's given a 50% chance in 7 days. We have to watch it as it gets around the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. That could be our next named system later on in the forecast period. But right now, Idalia is the star of the show. Winds will continue to increase. 8 p.m. advisory is coming out soon here, and so the winds will increase. Look for this to get, like I said, to be a borderline Cat 4 system with winds about 130 to 140 miles an hour before landfall sometime in the morning, 5, 6, 7 a.m. Eastern time for that Big Bend region there. So after that, it'll be weakening, significantly. But of course, we got the storm surge and the flooding to worry about. So the winds are a problem, yes, but this area is less populated up here, so that's another good thing to be thankful for, is that the area from Cedar Key, Horseshoe Beach up in this Big Bend, Levy County and Mayo County, Gilchrist County, those counties, it's a little bit less populated, so people have evacuated. Most people should have been out and they've been okay, so that's a blessing in disguise. Whereas if it came in Tampa or something like that, or Orlando or Daytona Beach or Fort Myers, you're looking at a lot of people impacted, a lot more population density, a lot more houses close together, a lot more damages could be done from the right front quadrant there that could be throwing out tornadoes or water spouts or who knows what, in addition to the storm surge. So that's a blessing in disguise for that too as well. And if there's any drought, certainly that's going to be erased by this tropical system. Now in the Eastern Pacific, we have Irvin, that's post-tropical now. That'll be the last advisories probably they're going to be issuing on that, so no big deal there. And then out here in the East Central Pacific, a couple hundred miles south of Hawaii, of course, we have that moisture belt, 10% chance of development here, so nothing's going on there. So this is the latest update. Thank you for joining me.